Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. I'm here with Dan's Timeless Classics.
Dan the man.
Dan the man, Danny. So Danny's a Porsche nut. I know Danny through Martin. We've been to some Porsche meets together.
We're Porsche brothers.
Yeah, we're Porsche brothers. What he doesn't know about Porsches isn't worth knowing. But we're actually here to talk about YouTube today because Danny wants to kind of grow a YouTube channel, don't you?
Yeah. I just kind of want to do what we do with the Porsches and like the fun we have at shows. And just try and, I'm doing it on Instagram, but in a very small way. And I'd like to transfer that over to YouTube like John does and just try and, just engage in the crowd and try and bring over the magic of what I do there into what I'm doing with my project car and things like that.
Yeah. We've just been over Dan's house. He lives about 2 minutes up the road.
Yeah, we're local.
And his house is kind of as identical as you could get to this without being identical, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's got a big back garden. He's got a double garage. He's got space on his front of his house to have at least, 10 cars?
Well, yeah, if you take the bit at the back where the Mark IIs are, I'd probably get, easily 10, but if I pushed them, I could put 17 cars for the barbecue. I'd get 17 cars on there for the barbecue.
So he's got loads of room to film. In his garage, he's got like a car collection of all Matchbox cars.
Yeah, that's another problem I have.
And that is something that I think would be good to put on the channel because he's not just got like 5 rare Matchbox cars, he's got like 5,000.
I think the last time I counted it was about 3,200 models pretty much on display. They're not all on this, but pretty much on display.
So you got that as a hobby, which people would be interested in. He's also, collects Matchbox, collects old toys, collects old kind of magazines and
anything
stuff like
from
that.
The 80s, Star Wars, WWF, Micro Machines, as you found out. Anything retro from my childhood. If I see something, even like the little figures you used to get with the Tetley tees, I saw them in a shop the other day. I was like, oh my God, my nan saved up the vouchers and sent off and got me them. So I bought them. Anything like that.
But
it's from my childhood.
you're not a hoarder though, because everything is meticulously ordered and like tidy and on display.
Yeah, I suffer from OCD, which is good for this. Yeah. So
I think we've all got a bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look in my cupboard at home, all the tins are beans and the labels face the same way. My wife's got it on the outside, but she can hide things in a drawer or cupboard and not care.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's got to be like in your drawer, your pens have to be lined up, the rubbers
See, I'm
have
normally
to be
like
lined
that,
up.
but then since she's moved in, I've given up because she's so messy. My OCD is given up as well. It's like she'll win.
I have to switch it off in my wife's car. If I climb in the wife's car, I'm like, OCD off.
Yeah. But as well as the car stuff, as well as the model car stuff, Dan's also a petrol head. So you got the 996, which is a hell of a car, and he's done tons of work on it that I think people will be really interested in. He's got 2 cracking Golfs.
3. There's one you didn't see.
There's one you didn't tell me about that.
There's the famous
Oh no, you did
one,
say
the
it's in
Maguire's
London.
car,
Yeah, so Dan's got a history with show cars as well and preparing cars to a show car standard. He's got all of the detailing gear in there. So all of the stuff that kind of we do on the channel, like you guys, everyone's doing it. Dan's cleaning the undersides of his cars, detailing everything out, machine polishing the cars, preparing the cars, making them look lovely. But you also do a lot of mechanical stuff as well.
I try and do everything I can on the car so that I learn about the car as I go. See, like with the Mark II Golfs, and it comes from my father. We talk about, Andy's doing this at the car with my dad's car podcast. And it is installed in me from my dad. My dad was a Land Rover man. In fact, this is actually my dad's jumper.
Is it?
Sadly, he passed away, but I inherited this. And I used to go in the garage as a kid and watch him tinkering with a car, a Capri then in them days, or a Land Rover. And then I'd pay attention to why he's grounding that bolt down and how you undo that rusty nut and tapping and dying, and I learnt that as a child.
You were always going to become a petrol head. There was no doubt about it.
And if you're going to do a car like a Golf or whatever, I want to pull it right apart and learn everything about it, the way of taking a car apart and putting it back together. You just learn.
Yeah.
You can read all the manuals in the world, but if you do it and you strip it down and you rebuild it,
break a few things on the way.
Break it, yes. Make the mistakes. Cut your knuckles. Hurt your arms. I've got a back brace on today from working on bloody cars. So You know, but you just learn a lot about them, and then when you get the next one and the next one, you just educate yourself each time that you'll finally get to a point like I am with the 996, where I went into that not fully blind because you've already got this knowledge installed from you from the Mark II Golf era.
You know what to look out for.
You know how the Germans do a bolt, you know, or a clip, a plug will plug a certain way, and you look at it and you think, it's not undoing, but there's a way. It's German. There'll be a up and down and out.
Or it's something that's reverse threading. You've got to actually tie it to loosen it, and you've made the mistake of trying to do it the other way, like, and end up breaking it. You've got to go through hell to learn all the things about the cars.
It's experience, isn't it? And you just learn. So now I'm at that point where I've stripped my 996 down. You've seen in some of my Instagram videos. I took the whole underneath. Again, you learn the process. Do I make the car pretty and put some lovely wheels on it? No, not to start with. Build the underneath chassis development of the car first, so it corners, handles right, brakes, so it stops right.
I just thinking I'm doing it the wrong way round because I do the wheels.
Well, you know, most people are going to get a car, like you've got 10 grand, what are you going to buy? Bucket seats, paint job and wheels. No, I wouldn't. I'd go suspension, anti-roll bars, bushings, top mounts. Mechanicals sorted first so that it handles and drives better
than the last thing you do is detail it and do the paint at the end.
That's the last thing I'll do on my car.
I did the E36 and I did it totally the wrong way round. I should have done all the mechanicals first. But
We've all done that.
Yeah, we have. But what we're talking about is, and what me and Danny want to chat about, is like how, if you're thinking of doing a YouTube channel, and you should be thinking about this because like you can make money. And you can make money and eventually it can become your living.
Fund the habit.
And you can just do it from your love of cars. And the people that watch the channel are all the same. They're just petrol heads. So like, I think the first thing you need to do if you're going to start a YouTube channel is come up with a name, which I think you've got already. Dan's
Timeless Classic. That comes from, I'm known in the car world as Danny Dantech, because I used to have a business called Dantech. And then I got this Dantech, and I thought Dantech DTC. I like DTC. Sounds a bit
DTC
motorsport.
Porsche,
DTC Porsche, hence the Porsche called DTC. So then I thought, so Dan's Timeless Classics, because I like cars, like you probably, that I think are timeless classics, like the 911. You know, whichever one we look at, 996, 997, even the 992 GTRS, what Max is racing, it's timeless, isn't it? That car's going to be loved in 100 years from now.
Something very special about Porsches. And this is my first one. It's the camera's sitting on top of the Porsche. They are
got
special.
Rubber ends.
They just drive great. So that's the first thing. You come up with your channel name. Then what I would say is, like, you can go onto a company called 5RR and they can make you great banners for your channel. So you get yourself a photo of yourself in the middle of it, and some cars edited in the background, some of the model cars in the background, and just create a really cool banner that sort of shows what you're all about, your channel's about. And then in the bottom of that banner, you can, through YouTube, you can add links to Facebook, Instagram, any other social that you want to grow as well, and that's worth doing. I've got that on mine. So that's the first thing you do. Then the second thing, once you've got that channel, is you've got to then start pumping out content. And that is going to be the foundation of growing the channel for the next 10 years, you know. And you've got to keep going. Like, there's so many channels out there that advise you how to do YouTube, and what I'd say is don't watch any of them. Don't watch any of them.
John.
No, don't. Well, don't. Yeah, no. I would say the best way to do YouTube is to learn by putting out content what people like within what you do, rather than going out there and looking. So they tell you to go and look at all the videos
what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, what's popular, what's gone viral for someone else, and go and make that. If you do that, you'll get success. But what you skip is the part where you learn that that's popular. And if you don't go through that pain barrier of doing stuff that isn't popular, you will never have any chance of discovering your own viral content within your niche. So you have to go through a pain barrier. So that's my bit of advice, is just be yourself and show people your world. And you're in a very similar position to me. You've got exactly the right sort of space to have a YouTube
We've
channel.
got identical garages
Haven't we?
as well.
It's so
Although
similar.
I think I'm a bit deeper than you, John.
You've probably
We're about the same.
Mate,
on
you've
the
got
width.
more space than
Yeah.
me. He's even got a slightly quieter, more private place to do it, which is important.
Yeah.
It does help if you can just
And my
film.
neighbours like cars.
Yeah, you've got petrol heads
helps.
around you as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So you've got you've got all the raw ingredients there to be able to do it. The other basic thing is when you put your content out is go above 10 minutes for your long format thing.
Yeah.
Try and stay below 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I break that rule all the time, but somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes is a really good amount of time.
Yeah,
for
see on
video.
Instagram it's really different, isn't it? I've started Instagram just over a year ago, February-ish last year, and I think I've just come up to 4,000 followers. So obviously I'm doing something right. People are liking it. It is mostly Porsche community because it's people from the meets. But on there, you like the reels generally have got to be quite quick, 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And a lot of your videos, if you're going to do it on your story, it's got to be 1 minute.
Yeah.
It'll only play a minute. So you have to, if you do a 3-minute one, it's 3 consecutive videos. So
yeah, as far as I can see, Instagram is just like when you're bored.
Yeah.
We'll fire up Instagram, which we have a look at it, and you flick through, and then you watch the one that gets your interest. So people are fighting for your interest over 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But for me, I know nothing about Instagram. I don't even hashtag my posts, and I'm rubbish at it. So I'm the worst person. You're probably doing a better job than me.
I do a few hashtags. Yeah, it does seem to work on certain things, but then if somebody else says you can do over hashtag it, and that some people put the hashtags in the comments, some people put it in the actual post itself.
Trendy music helps.
Yeah, trendy music. Yeah, when you do a reel, if you actually get an award about that now, whether you're a trender or a trend setter or a trend follower. I got trend setter the other day. Yeah, must have been a particular.
I've never read anything.
I think it was a Dire Straits song or something.
Is it?
Like,
if you can use, I tell you what, if you can use a bit of original audio that then people like the sound of because it catches them, and then you take it off them. That will be good.
Well, interesting you say that because there's some of the music now people will write on there in the messages. So you've got the music, the name. Please use my music for reels.
Yeah.
Because so they're encouraging you to use their bit of music for reels because then obviously it becomes viral.
Yeah.
And it goes up the charts in the most popular reel music. So then it's a knock-on effect, creates a bit of interest for the song or for what they've written.
But I suppose going back to YouTube, so long format videos are how you're going to get the money because shorts are still terrible for money. But you could also do lots of shorts as well. So any reel you do on Instagram, put as a short.
So we're looking at 10 to 30 minutes. That's the sort of prime.
I think so, yeah, because you've got to go beyond 10 minutes to be able to put some sort of advert in the middle so you get a higher return. So if you do like 7 or 8 minute videos, the CPM, the money is low.
Right.
And you want a high CPM on the video.
Okay.
So yeah, always try and 10 minutes I think is a good amount of time, isn't it? 10 to 20 minutes. So something like that. If you do 45 minutes, I've done a few of those. This one will probably be 45 minutes, wouldn't it?
I talk a little bit. I do.
Well, me too.
Yeah.
You lose people and you can have a look at your retention stats. But the main thing for you to do is in your first year is to learn what spikes and what videos, when you've got say 1,000 subscribers, your average video should do 300 views because about a third of your subscribers will watch it. And you'll do some video and it will, for some reason, it will do 10,000 views. And it's like, well, straight away, that is being sent to people. YouTube are sending that on to people who aren't subscribers and they're watching it. So that's popular.
Yeah.
So that's what YouTube does. It sends it, the video gets watched by your subscribers and it learns and it will send some out to non-subscribers who like automotive content, and if they watch it, it will try subscribers.
Is that the algorithm that does? That's the algorithm that's learning the pattern and distributing it.
Yeah, so that's all like
Which is
watch
similar
time.
to Instagram, isn't it, in that sense?
Well, I don't think it's I think with YouTube there's a lot more watch time and audience retention is important, but with Instagram, because they're so short,
it's short and sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, So with YouTube, you really want to engage people, get them to watch. So you need a good thumbnail, a really good title that's really relevant, and then you just need to make the video instantly engaging, and then keep them there.
Yes.
So like keep telling
Get
jokes.
them in, get them in, and then keep them going with the story as to where this is going to go. That at the end of all of this, there's going to be something really factual.
Yeah, and I mean,
something interesting.
You might do quite a lot of how-tos as well because you're doing mechanical stuff, and people want to know how to change a brake pad on a Porsche 996. If you're doing that type of video, you've really got to get stuck into it because people are watching because they want to know how to change it. So they just want, right, how do I do it? Yeah. So it's like, okay, I'm here to do a video on 996. First thing, you need this torque, that bolt off, tyre off, jack it up, but don't get under the car when you're there, whatever. Then you do this, that, and the other. Video finished.
And then don't try this at home underneath as a banner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with what I do, I mean, I say I've got the toys. It's not just cars for me. There's other aspects of it, but there's also that buying and selling side of things where I'll go out to look at, say, for instance, John was selling this car. It was, a bit tired. It needed brakes, needed tyres. It needs a service. He can't be bothered.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It's a good car.
It's up for sale.
And it's ready to go. Then somebody like me could potentially see that and think, well, it might be a 32, 33 grand car. I can buy it at 28, spend 2 grand on it, do a couple of weeks labour on it here, doing bits to it, pretty it up, detail it, and then go to market with it at a higher price. And the last 5 I've sold, they've all been Porsches. A lot of people were surprised recently. I just put a BMW Z4 and they're like, what? Yeah. That's not a Porsche, Dan. It's not retro either. But, they've all sold to people that have followed me on Instagram. So they've all been they've seen what I do. They think, he looks like he does a proper job here. He's certainly doing the brakes and all the issues that come with these cars that most of these people don't understand. They go out, they buy one, even from a garage. It's all shine. All they see is the gloss, don't they? The dress tyres, the paintwork. Yeah. They don't see the top mounts. And you don't see the lower arm bushes, and you don't realise that those brakes look good this side.
And those are the things that cost you money later on, don't they, when you
Porsche brakes wear more on the inside. So I do all of that. So then these people can almost see the videos. You're seeing the process. And then they go, right, now, wow, it's ready for sale. And it's worked.
It's like a wheeler dealers thing, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit like, I've got a kind of bit of wheeler dealers, and you've got the auction side of things.
But it won't be one video of like start to finish. It'll be like, we were talking about this, you could do a video today, I'm going to look at a car to buy and vlog it, and people want to see that. And then you can give them your thoughts, why you might buy it, why you wouldn't want to buy it, what you're looking out for. If you do buy it, then you can do a buyer's guide for it. Yeah. Then you can fix all the known problems with it, detail it at the end, and bring people in. And people love that, and that would work. And not a lot of people really are doing that.
No, and if you don't buy it, why didn't you buy it?
Yeah.
Because you might be able to save somebody here. Right, the reason why I didn't buy that car is because I think it's got bore score. Oh, well, this is a talked about thing. Tell me more. Well, then how did you check that, Danny? How did you know
the bloke selling it won't like you putting that video
out. Yeah, you might not like that on
registration
the
flashes up on the screen.
Yeah, you might want to blank out his, like the old pixelated face as you walk around, it pixelates out the car. But, there are some telltale signs. Yes, the IMS thing, although, I'm not a big believer in that, as most of you know. But the bore score thing is real. It's piston wear. Any engine can suffer from it. Porsches in particular, because the pistons are like that, so they're rubbing there. There's a gravity, science involved here as well. And if it's 27 years old, like a 996 can be, it's real. So why didn't I buy it? Because of this, and because I noticed that, and this, and that. And then that person can then be looking at a car and think, I remember what Danny said.
Yeah.
I'll go and look at that car, and I'm going to look, and I'm going to do what he said, and go, yeah, I'll leave that one, mate.
Yeah, good buyer's guides are always, people are always looking for those.
Save someone a fortune.
Those are the sort of videos which can do really well long term, and they can be really good, especially if you build up like a portfolio. You can do a playlist of buyer's guides. That'd be a really good idea.
Well, one interesting one that I did, that because I haven't really done YouTube, I have got a YouTube account and I set this little thing up, and one of these videos I did, which is a really spoken about problem in the 996 world, is the Targa roofs. If you've got a Targa and anything goes wrong with the roof, every time you ring a specialist, they're like, £3,000, mate, £3,000, because all they want to do is replace everything. Well, I bought a Targa, I owned a Targa, I lived with it, and the roof broke. I didn't ring the specialist, I didn't do that. I looked at it, I sussed how it was made, I worked out what could inevitably be wrong, and I fixed it. And then something else, and then I had one of the other common
There wasn't a big hole in it, was there?
And I fixed
So put
that.
an umbrella through it and opened up the umbrella.
Yeah, and that was it. It's fixed now, guys. I'm not getting wet. But I fixed it, and I fixed it 2 or 3 times. And then I realised this thing needs servicing. It needs maintaining. People don't do that. And cleaning and lubricating was the answer to 99% of their problems. And I'd done it so good that I thought, I better film this. And I was selling my car, and it was ready to go. And I suddenly thought, better do some videos. And I did 6 videos ranging between 3 and 5 minutes long. I had to upload them as different videos, you know, so it's different steps. And I got inundated. Even though I wasn't anybody big, but because it went round the world.
Yeah, well, Porsche's got a massive following, isn't it?
Yeah, I have single-handedly, I know personally from messages, helped 10 people around the world fix their Targa roofs. And I didn't even have a following then. Yeah. And they've messaged me. And in fact, the guy that just bought my Boxster, Mike, hello if you're watching, he came to me 2 years ago, or a year or so ago, for advice on Targa roof from that YouTube video I did 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's how we met. That's how we got speaking. That's how he became a follower then on Instagram, and has now bought a car off me.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another good thing about those types of videos. I was doing that a little bit on my Club Sport and the E36. They pay for the job. So if you do a video on how to redo the lower seals on those vent windows on the E36, it generally pays for the parts to do the job.
From the income off the video.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you've done a job, £300, and then your hits are going to make you £300.
Yeah. And it's important.
Funding the habit.
One thing I was saying, we were talking about, you have to get your channel making money, or else what happens is when you start the channel, you've got like the novelty factor of filming and engaging and talking to people, which is good fun, you know. But after 2 or 3 years of doing that, if you're not making money, the novelty factor of filming and editing wears off, and you're spending a lot of your time doing this. And if you're not getting the money coming in, it will just become, you'll get fed up with it.
The enthusiasm's going to die, isn't it?
So you do need that monetary factor is a motivator.
It's a reward, isn't it? Like, you've done something good, you've enjoyed doing it, and you've done it for your own thing, but because you've told people and you've helped someone else, there's a reward.
Yeah.
It makes you want to do it again, doesn't it?
And people appreciate it, because I think I've discovered YouTube channels through wanting to know how to do things on cars.
Yeah, we've all done that, haven't we?
And I remember the E46, like there was a channel out there, I can't remember the name, but it was really good on how to do brake pads, and I just watched it, then did my brake pads. And then afterwards, I want to say thank you, and I go onto that, and there's like a little donate thing, and I donate £5. Because if I'd have taken it to the garage, it would have cost like £300 to do all the pads. You know,
look at it.
And that's with the pads supplied.
Porsche tax.
Yeah, so... And people are very similar. They appreciate all that sort of stuff. And then you build up a following of people that really have the same interests and passions. And for me, it's detailing. People love cleaning their cars, and I got in a good time doing that on the channel. But people also love everything to do with the cars, and that's where I think you can do more. Because I'm not very good mechanically. You're pretty good with all that sort of stuff.
I don't know if I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, but you know, I can do the detailing. I've always been known to have really particularly clean cars and be good at paintwork, protection and all that sort of thing. But at the same time, I do a bit of part-time work helping my friend out in a body shop, as you know, Dale. So there's prep work and what goes under the paint. So
you understand that.
Yeah,
you understand how to look after car paintwork. Because if you know how to put it down, you know how to maintain it. So you can also do detailing stuff. Yeah. You might find your viewers take more to your mechanical stuff. Yeah. Or you might find your viewers take to the detailing stuff. Yeah. And then that's what I'm saying is whatever they take to within your niche, lock onto that and then like try and do more of that.
Home in on that particular thing. I mean, like I say, got the carbon roof swap coming up, which is a big major thing. You know, I'm going to take the metal roof off of your Porsche and put on a carbon fibre one.
You're going to unpick it yourself? Right?
Yeah, so it's, you know, I mean, this is going to be a glass out, drill all the spots out. It's then bonded. This is a big job. This
chisel and hammer.
Yeah,
bang it on. I mean, when you take, people would love even so something like a time lapse of you taking that roof off from it going out, and then the new one.
Where they speed it all up and stuff.
Yeah, and then coming back into the video to show how to cut out the spot welds. And then how to re-spot weld it. people would love to know how to do that, because that I would have loved to know how to do it when I dented the roof on my Club Sport and the bonnet flew up. And it was coming to the stage where I was going to consider unpicking it, getting another panel from BMW and welding it in, but I'd have ballsed it up. I'd put it in backwards.
Well, it sounds so scary, doesn't it? You're going to take the roof off of a car and put a new roof on. You think the roof of a car is the massive structural point, but actually, if you understand these cars, the skin of the roof isn't structural at all. Yeah. It's just the dressing. Yeah. The structure is the struts that run underneath it, which you don't mess with. Yeah. Because the roof is only bonded and spot welded. And of course, a carbon roof, it's only bonded. There's no weld on carbon fibre. And you think, well, that ain't going to be very strong. That's not structurally. Race cars have it. Yeah. And nothing's more structurally solid than a race car, because they're having to think about strength. What happens if the car flips over? That safety. So and carbon is structurally it is more stiff than metal, isn't it? It's rigid, isn't it? Yeah. But all of that, and then the fact that it actually can stiffen the chassis and improve the handling. There's lots involved. So that's
a job people like to know, because people would love to put a carbon fibre roof in their cars.
I would imagine.
You could do it yourself, and if you can do that unpicking and welding, you could save yourself a packet.
I would imagine it's probably going to be one of the most popular things that I've ever done to a car, because A, it's a Porsche, B, it's very motorsport. So, this is the BM guys, the track day guys, the Clio RS guys. They're all going to want to see this, aren't they? Yeah. And, then the look of it, everybody loves carbon, don't we? It's been around how long now? And we just can't get enough of it. It never goes out of fashion, does it, carbon?
It just sounds good as well, doesn't it? I got carbon bonnet.
Yeah, it's the supercar world, isn't it? You go and spend £1 million on a car.
I got carbon. Everyone I tell, I got carbon inside my Porsche. It's got carbon.
Well, funny enough, as soon as you bought it and you did your little video, I was like, oh, look at the carbon, look at the carbon. And as soon as when you come to Goodwood, that all I need to do is look inside your car, because there's something sexy about carbon fibre. Yeah. And when you get carbon obsessed, you get carbon obsessed. It's seriously addictive.
It's good stuff. So I guess you got to start pumping out that content and then doing the stuff that's popular. The technical side of YouTube, I'm rubbish at. Anyone that watches my channel, I'm useless at that. And my principle is do it as easy as possible. So I was saying to Dan about these wireless mics and just a smartphone, because the video quality on the smartphones now is awesome. The audio quality is good.
Really good, isn't it?
And you can edit all on your phone.
I know we're talking to you like this BBC's here with all this filming crew. It's a rubber little mount on top of the roof of his car with a little clamp and a mobile phone.
That also enables me to be able to walk around, and when I'm in a car,
and you're not holding the phone either. I noticed that Instagram, I hold the phone, it catches your fingers.
You can even get the stabilizer, but then that's I don't think you need that. The image stabilization is so good, but if you use a proper camera, you've got to set the shot up every time, and it slows you down so much. You've got to extract the files off, and then you've got to extract them to social media, whereas the phones are all ready to go straight onto social media, share it, no file transfers. Anyone starting YouTube, I would just say get a really good smartphone and get this DigiMic thing. Link in the description.
Yeah. Well, you've got to do that. You've got to earn your money.
We were talking about this as well. You've got to use affiliate links as well, because if you're talking about a product, Dan loves the Meguiar's stuff, and virtually all of his detailing gear is Meguiar's. Well, if you're using that and you love it, and you do love it, we'll link it in the description. Set up an affiliate on Amazon so that you can make commission on people that watch it, see what you're using, and then go and buy it. Because then that creates another revenue stream. And when you start YouTube, your revenue stream is terrible. Yeah. It's terrible. You have to get that 1,000 subscribers and X amount of watch hours. And then you apply for the YouTube Partner Program where you're monetized, and then you get money per month from Google. But that money is when I started, it was like £12 or something, Yeah. But what you can do is then grow. So once you get that up to 200 quid a month, you might have 50 quid of affiliates or 100 quid of affiliates if you're doing really affiliate stuff or technical tech gear. So then suddenly you've got another revenue stream. And then I created the Patreon account, which was great. And that was critical for me when I was starting in terms of getting it to the stage where you can actually earn a living doing YouTube. But you might want to consider something like Patreon, where the people that really dig the channel, it's just a small percentage of lunatics, but very awesome lunatics.
Fellow follower
They
lunatics.
are, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of my patrons. I've met a few of them, and I consider some of them friends, and they're lovely people because they watch the channel and they choose to come and support you and be part of the community.
And like every picture and just follow. I mean, I've got pages I follow like that and people I follow like that.
But Patreon's great as a creator as well because it's like a private little forum for all your people that are following you, and you can put content in there just for them, behind the scenes stuff, and talk to people and message people there. So that's another cool thing.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, Patreon I would definitely do.
Even like you say, the tagging of products, I didn't realise any of that. I mean, like, you know, if I use the snow foam because my car's wrapped coated underneath, I snow foam underneath, and it just seems bizarre. And people were obsessed about it when I did it.
People want to know. Like,
but it got 89,000 views, and I'm nobody. And I would 100% said they would have seen a little spike in sales. So if I'd have tagged that, and 100 people bought a bottle, I might have got £1 a bottle or something. I don't know.
You get like 5%. So if it's a £10 bottle, you get 50p. It's something
20,
that can make a difference. And if you really go heavy, I mean, there's tech channels out there that make a fortune on affiliates. It's it's great, but the detailing stuff because they're relatively cheap compared to a £1,000 camera, but you can still make a bit of money doing the commission stuff, so you should definitely do that. And then you've got 3 things to grow. You've got your view revenue, you've got your affiliate revenue, you've got your Patreon revenue, and as you grow your views and subscribers, all those other things get bigger. And I think you should just set yourself a target of overall income of £1,000 a month, doing all of this stuff on YouTube within 2 years, because I think you can hit that.
Yeah, and that's not like a job that you could live on.
No,
I still have my job.
But if you hit it,
that funds the habit, doesn't it?
Yeah, but if you hit 1,000, then you can hit 2,000.
Yes.
And then once you get to £2,000 a month, you're at the point
that's like
where
an income. Then,
you're at the point where you think I can do YouTube full time.
Yeah.
And you'll have learnt a ton in those 2 years as well, and the speed that you grow will go up, and then the aim, I think. My first aim was to hit 10,000 subscribers, and I got there. And then I thought, right, if I get to 100,000 subscribers, I'll be the happiest person ever. And you get to 100,000, and now I'm at 320, and I want to get to 1 million, but I don't know if I'll ever get there because that's tons away.
Well,
but
I think you got from 1,000 to 10 to 100, and
so
that journey,
a million's hard work, though, right?
Yeah, but it does seem doable, doesn't it?
It might do, but like once you go above 100,000, you'll be at the stage where I think you'll be looking to go full time.
Yes.
Because you need to get between 500,000 and 1 million views a month to get a decent return on the view revenue. And then you're at that point where you could say, you know what, I've got a following, I'm making a bit of money, I'm now going to go full time.
Hand your notice in on Monday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose
And you've got no boss, you've got nothing. You can just, it's
apart
great.
From the wife shouting when dinner's ready, or can you come and do the dinner?
Yeah, she was. I've literally got to do the dinner tonight, which is not a good thing.
I'm cooking tonight as well.
But like the greatest thing about doing YouTube is the fact that it's all going to be down to you.
Yeah.
You're going to be your own boss. You're the creative. You're head of creativity. You're head of technical.
Head of HR.
Head of HR. You're head of everything. And it's all down to you.
Yeah, when it all goes wrong, it's down to you as well.
Well, you're going to mate, I've made millions of mistakes. Like I say, most of my videos flop. Most of them I just do because it's something that interests me. But as I've got the channels I've gone full time with it, I do have to kind of try and do content that I know is going to work. And I've learned certain ones that work and they can drive the channel. So I do try to do a bit of that. But I have to keep doing the stuff that doesn't work, which you always hear me moaning about, this video is going to cost me money and it's going to lose me money. But it's the foundations of what we do is, buying up all these products and sitting there playing around with them for God knows how long and then trying to give really good recommendations. That, even though it loses money, it brings people to the channel.
Yeah, and it is what you do, isn't it? It's what you like doing. Because,
I do. I still love doing it. Actually.
Yeah, and the same for me. I mean, I guess the difference with you're sort of doing the detail, and I've almost could be 5 channels in one here.
Yeah,
Can't I?
yeah,
I can be
yeah.
a wheeler dealer,
Yeah.
a detailer,
Yeah,
a mechanic,
a
toy car
vlogger.
dealer, vlogger. Look at my 80s WWF coat I just bought.
But all the
from
meets
Toy
we go
Fair.
to as well, you can film all that stuff. Anything you're doing, I film my track days. Why not?
Yeah, well, I want to do that on the roll cage. That's why I've got that bar, so I can have the camera to get some of that because some of that footage on car, you know, when you dub over it with that at 7,000 RPM thing. From
You guys haven't heard his exhaust yet.
Jeez. Yeah, you need to dub over that.
I'm just videoing my exhaust. As soon as he turns the key, you're not going to be able to hear a word. It's going to like,
this is going to have to be like here. We're going to have to stand back and the next door neighbour's garden while we talk about. It's a little bit loud. It's not that bad. Inside the car, it's all right.
It's the loudest one I've heard.
It's pretty loud, 125 dB, so it's pretty. I'm not allowed around Goodwood anymore, put it that way. I've got to go for Anglesey. Luckily, there are tracks in the country that like race car exhaust. So, yeah, I'll tell you more about it if you follow me on the Instagram or hopefully on YouTube soon. But
Dan's Timeless Classics.
But there is a reason for the noisy exhaust. It wasn't like I just want to be Asbo.
Yeah, it's not pops and bangs. It's a roar. It's like a roar. He went past me like we're going to a show. He went past me, and then he'd gone, and I thought there was something wrong with my car. Like, because it was making a funny noise, but it was like the noise catching up and going past me after he went past.
You see, remember the 2 guys that come flying up in that like 991 Targa, and they come flying up because I'd obviously done something like that. Drive past them, they came flying up, and they were both like, "Do it again." So I kept driving past them on the motorway, and they kept catching up and going again.
It does sound good, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's a race noise. It's a racing car. It's out on the road. Yes, it's a bit offensive to most people, but there was a weight saving reason. There was a RPM increase. There's a back pressure on. There's lots of problems I've overcome by making this one-off crazy exhaust system, but it's worked. But it's a real motorsport thing, and you know, if you like your motorsport and you're passionate about that sort of thing,
it's an addiction,
totally
man.
get
it's an addiction.
It is an addiction,
and Porsches are very special as well. They are, guys.
And expensive.
They're expensive. Well, yeah, I don't know though.
They're kind of affordable to buy, aren't they? They're very affordable to buy.
I'd say like a 996 now. Yeah. Buy one now because in 5 years' time they're going to be like silly money. But
this will be the new 964.
Yeah.
Because it's guys like me and you now buying them, enthusiasts.
They drive good though. Don't they?
Yeah, they do, and we're doing them up. This is what happened to the Mark II Golf. The 964, the 993. It got to a point where they were just old supercars, and all those rich guys wanted the newest. So the poor guys bought them because I'm just a kid from a council estate that aspired to this level, let alone that level. And now they're affordable. We're realising how good they are. So now we're changing the wheels and we're doing this and we're doing that. And now there's this cult. And I mean, one of my hashtags is 996 Brotherhood. Click on that. Click on that and see how many people like us that do these meets like Sunday that are clicking on that because it's got this cult following.
You can go out and I think you could probably get, there's 996s out there you can get for like 15 grand.
Yeah, less, if you're wise.
It's a lot of car for the money, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, give you an idea, I'd say the price range is 10 to 20 grand. There's a lot of choice.
Yeah.
Over 20, then you get some nice prime meat. You're into C4Ss and things like that. You've got to do 50, 60 to get into the GT world. But, you could go out and buy one of these cars for 12 grand. And if you learn how to do some of the work, that within, say, 2 years, if you've got a job and you're doing a bit here and a bit there, you're not like us and you just squeeze it in and take over your life, and 8 grand, at the end of it, for £20,000, you could have a car that I promise you is one of the fastest, best driving cars you'll ever buy in your life.
Yeah.
It's the most underrated car I've ever known. Oh, well, actually tell a lie. The Boxster is the most underrated car in the world. This is the second most underrated car, all because 30 years ago, 27 years ago, the air-cooled guys didn't like it. Even they like them now.
And the headlights. And
Yeah, the fried eggs, you know.
I think they look good.
They've aged, haven't they? Like a
They
wine.
drive good though, guys. I love, out of all three cars I own, the M4, the E36 and the 996 C4S, I think this is probably the most fun to drive. It's the one you can really ring out on the road without worrying about like binning it unless you're going absolutely crazy.
You can pedal them, can't you? You can really pedal them.
Yeah, they don't slide around as much. They all got all that grip at the rear is what I really like, you know. So yeah, you can really like hammer them.
I mean, I've had people say to me like, "Oh, well, it's only 300 horsepower," and you go, "Okay," but I had a 600 horsepower Skyline.
They're quite light as well, though.
Yeah, and I just the horsepower is so much lower than the capability of the car. It's almost like, have you ever heard someone say horsepower is just a number? It really is, because you can get a 1400 horsepower car and it's undrivable and it's not fun.
Well, I mean, that makes me think of Tav, the guy with the GT3. He had a turbo, the new 992 turbo. It was just too fast. You gave it back, you know.
Yeah.
Because you can't really use that in UK roads. You know,
too much.
Yeah, you're accelerating so hard, you've not got time to enjoy it.
Yeah,
you want to be able to wring the car out a little bit and like
you want to be up in the revs, not on the brakes.
Yeah, it's probably the same, to be fair, with the M4. It's too fast, like, and that's only 460 horsepower. But that feels too fast to me that I can't drive it as hard as I want to. And the E36 is probably the best for that, because my foot is flat to the floor.
Yeah, you pedal them. You know, we went out in yours earlier, and some of those roads, you can just keep the revs up. Yeah. You can just take the corner, keep the revs up, keep the momentum up. You're not even dabbing brakes. You know, it's a really good car, a really good basis. It's still in the supercar bracket. You can build them really cool. You can make them really fast. And I'll tell you what, you know, I've had, like I say, I've driven 1,000 horsepower Audi RS's tuned to the 9s. I've worked for Audi. I've driven R8 V10s like I've stolen them. You know, sorry, Audi. But you did say I could. You know, I've done all those cars, and I'm still so in love with my 996.
That's what it's all about, mate.
Measly 300 horsepower, you know.
And when you find that one car that you love, you keep it for life.
Yeah.
And I'm the M4 and the E36, I think, E36 definitely keeping for life. M4 possibly. This, I love it, but I want to try the 997. So I'm still sort of thinking in 2 years I'll get rid of this. But the problem is I might just be so happy with it that I might just want to keep it.
I think you'll be shocked with the 997. I think, you know, just, you know, my opinion on these, I think the 997 is just a facelift 996 that's got some
they
less...
look good, though, don't
they? They do look good, yeah. They do. Martin's one looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? They're just a little bit less build quality. The build quality, the accountants got involved a little bit more. They're not as well made as 996s. They're not as solid as a 996, but actually it's just a skin over.
Yeah.
So it's quite a chunk more money.
I've also that 992, mate. I love the
look
of
of that's
those.
A different kettle of fish. You know. Then you got technology involved. I mean, I'm anti-technology.
Yeah. Well, you lose a lot of the feel. You do. It's a different experience because everything's new. Yeah. Nothing creaks. Nothing needs fixing. It's immaculate.
Digital dash. Oh, I don't like. I don't like.
I'm not. You know. Is it digital or semi-digital?
Just got one rev gauge. All the rest is like laptops.
Is it really?
Yeah, and you've got this weird little gear lever. 991 is the last 911 for me personally. Manual 991 GT car.
I need to test drive one, mate. Because
that's the way forward. 991.
I still think one of those in this garage would be awesome, but it's the money as well, though, isn't it? I mean, anyway, I can't afford one, so yeah.
We're not going to be making that much out of YouTube, John. Talking about making
maybe this one will go viral and that'll pay for my 992.
We're talking about making enough to afford your polishes
and
to pay for a few tools and maybe a set of rear tyres after we've done my donut videos.
Yeah. I mean, you can make really good money on YouTube if you can figure out to go viral on every video. But there's, I think, who was I chatting to about this the other day? There's very few like full-time automotive YouTubers in the UK. There's very
Matt
few.
Armstrong, he's doing well, isn't he? He's doing the whole salvage thing. See, that was unique, wasn't it? Because
good, yeah.
I love that. I read his story. See, he had some background in the filming side of things and doing videos because he's a BMXer.
Yeah.
And then he went into all the world championships and that. Realised there's no money in BMX unless you're born in the USA.
Yeah.
But then he'd already spent so much of his life filming backflips and go on, do a bunny hop and all that. You remember bunny hops?
Yeah.
We used to be able to do them 20 years ago. And then he took that across to cars, and I see some of his early videos of him when he worked for a garage.
Yeah,
and he was changing a
skills,
headlight and a rear light. And he started getting a following for that, but they're quite dull to. He must look back and cringe at them, but they were factual and they were helpful.
It's a niche, and that's another thing. Is if you're doing something that transforms cars, so a dirty car, a knackered car to a clean car works. A crushed car to a lovely looking straight car.
Before and after, isn't it?
People love that.
Same with a house, I'd imagine, if you bought an old dilapidated
even lawns.
house.
I get stuff come up. There's one comes up in my Reels feed, and I watch them. With a bloke goes around cutting people's grass.
Well, we could both do that. We've both got big gardens and
we
big
go
lawns.
around with the strimmer and cut their grass. Anything could work, mate. You can make sandwiches, like do a channel on making sandwiches,
cutting the crusts off and just getting the cucumber at the right
You see all those reels, don't you, with like all the American barbecue beef and like you watch
stop
them.
it! I love them reels.
Yeah.
But so how hungry are you after you've watched them?
Yeah.
You just want to do it, don't you?
So there's anything. You've got all of the ingredients. You just got to make the content down. And I reckon if you keep going with it and get those niches going, mate, you'll be flying. But it is hard work. I've said to a lot of people, you've got to keep going once the novelty factor's worn off. And sometimes you might not get to that stage where you're making really good money and the novelty factor might be wearing off and you're thinking, well, I'm not making money. It's a hell of a lot of time. And it's at that point where you have to keep going. Like, don't stop, just keep going.
Keep going. I think the thing that's going to help me here, and probably very much helped you, is it's all going to be about what I'm doing anyway.
So you're going to film it.
What I like anyway.
That helps.
I guess there's an extra bit of work here. There's an extra bit of time going to be used up doing this, but I'm still going to go and buy that
doing
car.
it anyway.
I'm still going to turn it around. I'm still going to get a crappy old Boxster that's been sat on someone's drive for 3 years that looks like it wants binning, and I'm going to turn it into a lovely thing, and I'm going to sell it to a man who comes to the meets with us, and then I'm going to become his mate. And I'm going to see that car come to other meets with us. So I'm still going to do that.
That happens. That happens to me if I've got to do something on a car. Like I've got to detail this car anyway. So I would be doing it anyway. So just film it.
So get back to the sandwiches. If you've got to make sandwiches and that's your job, but you're so good at your sandwiches.
I'm getting hungry now.
Just film it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to do it anyway. Yeah. It's going to take you, you've got to set the camera up. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. And if one day that's going to pay for your butter, pay for your cucumber, pay for your bread, it's going to go towards funding the habit. Me and John are not looking to become, I don't want to be Shmee and walking around with signing autographs to kids every 10 minutes.
I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind his car collection.
But that'd be awesome.
The main thing is all I want it for is like what John's done, is it funds the ability to do what you
more
love
of it
doing.
And grow it,
buying a car, fixing the car, putting a roll cage in it, putting a new set of wheels on it costs a lot of money. The wife's going, the kids need trainers. We all need a bit more money in life, especially with the cost of living and everything. So if you can do something that can bring something extra into the table, it's almost like renting a room out in your house.
That's what it was like at the start for me.
A couple of £100 a month, some free product maybe that helps the stuff that you want.
Well, I didn't even know. I didn't do any research, so I didn't even monetize because I didn't know you could when I started.
I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that.
I didn't even know what an affiliate link was. And I just used to make the videos that unmonetized, stick any link I could find on Google in there because people would ask you, just, chuck a link in. That was it. And then it was probably about 2 or 3 years when I researched how to do YouTube. Then you realise you should use an affiliate link.
I could have done that 2 or 3 years ago.
Could have done that, yeah. And that's really, you do so probably a bit of research as well. There's some good channels. There's a channel called Think Media that I watched that were quite helpful in terms of structuring your video with like a hook, a title, a hook, a thumbnail, and I thought that was really good advice. And I did follow that advice, and it did help. So and it helped me get my times down. Don't do 1 hour videos like I did. Like I did 3-part videos that are an hour each.
Jesus.
Like I'm talking about a microfiber mitt or something. So don't do that.
So did you have a clock in it with a timer and a
No,
little
I just
alarm
used.
goes
I
off?
didn't know the algorithms. I didn't know it had to be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, it's gonna be a 3-hour video. It's gonna be really interesting.
And you're editing them yourself as well.
Yeah.
So you're cutting it bits out and all that.
Yeah,
So that's a
trying to-
whole nother thing I need to learn.
So I learned how to edit from when I played computer games. And I remember back in the day when the first computer games came out, you could screen capture and like dump them into like an editor like Vegas or something and play around with them. So I knew a bit about video editing, but I'm rubbish.
I was too busy over the pits jumping on burnt out cars trying to crush the roofs in. I didn't play much computers. I was always out. I was the kid that built the ramp in the, where you got the bit of wood, the beer crate.
Oh, I used to do that.
Get a couple of bricks and then line all your mates up. And
you
then
go over it in the BMX, you've never done a jump before, and you land on the front wheel and go over the handlebars.
And your mate's laying there, absolutely. You don't even know if you can make it. And the bricks, they're like 10 bricks high, but they're only a single skin.
Yeah.
And as you go up the ramp, it collapses. So you make it, but your mate don't.
So that's the moral of the story, guys.
Yeah.
Learn how to edit. Don't make brick jumps. But Dan,
cheers, John. Thanks very much.
I hope this was useful to the guys watching as well. So if you're starting a YouTube channel, the short answer is go and do it and make loads of content and learn and learn what's popular within your niche. So thanks for watching, guys. It's been the Forensics Detailing channel. Do not forget to subscribe, and do not forget to subscribe to Dan's Timeless Classics, because you're going to see tons of content. You're going to see his gaff as well, which is awesome. So thanks for watching. See you later.
Cheers.